there and sit on the floor, I'll tell you a story you've heard before. One bright day in the middle of the night, two dead boys got into a fight. They stood back to back and faced each other, pulled out guns and stabbed each other. The deaf policeman heard the noise and pulled out a knife and shot both boys. If you don't believe me this is true, just ask the blind man. He saw it too. So, from, what was it, 1420 you said?
1430, yeah.
1430, the first part didn't change, but the rest has. So it is time to line up, sign up, and reinvest in America today, ladies and gentlemen, because we need harder work, less pay, and more jobs just like that, so the people who are really rich can make a difference in our lives.
There's that. Truly, truly, truly.
And usually I pitter-patter and patter, pitter-patter, but you know, I don't have to do that right now. The professionals who are forming a line before my very eyes will take care of things like that for me. And we'll take care of everything else in due course. And I will sit down for a moment and then take care of the wonderful door prizes, which I say many times have been designed with your mind in mind.
Now is the time.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, there is.
Yeah, a lot of people
We
are
started at
calling.
5, so there's a thought that maybe
Maybe they'll come.
Maybe the tide shall rise, of course.
No. We've been tied for a long time.
Yeah.
It's about the fifth inning now, so.
Yeah, yeah. What?
They get here late, they should get turned.
Well, yeah, well, we'll see. Oh, we gotta get the light condom.
No, all my friends
That-
talk
that-
about
that-
that sounds pretty.
Well,
That's what we call it, Bill. A light condom.
as opposed to the heavy condom.
Anyway, I kind of got the gist of what it was.
What's
Yeah.
gray and comes in quarts?
So this lady, when I came back.
I wanna know.
She looked kind of.
I don't wanna know. I don't-
So I sat down and.
comes in
when we were all leaving.
I feel
said,
bad.
I knew I didn't wanna know.
And she
Are you
was.
sure you know what your seat's back, Bill?
Oh, good.
This is your
Well,
seat,
there
so.
No,
When
I
I
don't
was
have,
there,
I don't have
Few
AC.
people that
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The light condom has been applied to the illuminatory device before your very eyes.
started gossiping. So,
Oh, you filled it all out.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to welcome you to another fine night of poetry here at Sacred Grounds, ladies and gentlemen. Give yourself a small round of applause or a large round of applause as you see fit to give yourself a recognition. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Thank you. And I go through my normal pitter-patter, patter-pit. We're getting an update here.
It's 4-3, 15.
4-3, fifth inning. Thank you. Anyway, welcome to Sacred Grounds, the longest running open mic that we know of in the known and unknown universe.
Keynote. On the keynote.
Oh, yes, you're the keynote.
I'm
Thank
gonna be
you.
going to that.
The feature, Tanya Joyce, will kindly give us the Queen's Wave since she is here in presence. And Stephanie Mann, the keynote, will, of course, follow suit and like that. Now, we want to honor our hosts, Teddy and Fiona. So if you like the food and like being here, give them a round of applause because we always say thank you. Thank you back there. She's waving to us. Very good. The webcam brought to you courtesy of Mr. Natural, the original. And if you have a cell phone, like I know I do, now's the time to turn this thing off. Except for you, Stephanie, set it on buzz so we can get an update on the game. All right. Oh, the door prizes.
There we go. Door.
If you ever want to know anything about the song Amazing Grace, probably you'd want to pick this.
Is it a book or a?
It's a home video.
Dante's Inferno, speaking of Dante's Inferno.
Right.
Hal Holbrook's Mark Twain Tonight. So this, if you've never heard this, I saw it live years ago. Then I got the book and enjoyed it all over again. But now I'm Very good.
I like Mark Twain.
Matthew Rogers, All the Poets Are Asleep in Their Dreams. Very good. A local poet here. We know him well. Haven't seen him in a while, but this is his book, and it's really good. This book is falling apart, but it's Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, supposedly the complete works. Amazingly, I have 2 of these. So I think it's time to get rid of the one with the bad binding. And Sherry Rose Walker was featured here a while back, 2 Trees, her book. And then Sally Love Saunders has donated word pictures, and she is here right over there. So this is also in the, what do they call it, door prize category. And then, of course, for next week, the mini feature at the keynote. Those are prizes which you may distribute to yourself when the time comes for that. You say to yourself, well, how do you get all these fancy prizes? Well, I say to you this. Once you've signed in, there's a number next to your name, and at the end of the evening, I draw cards with numbers and find the names. So, if you're interested in that, these are those.
Corn chips, not crackers.
All right. So is there anything else that I forgot? Did you want to sign in?
Yes, please.
Oh, why don't you come on up since we have a minute here? Actually, we have several minutes here. Actually, to tell you the truth, we have 743,225 minutes here.
More or less. You know, I wonder if you took 3 hours and multiplied it by 42 years, what you would get. How many hours that would be. Are you going to be our mathematician?
Yes.
Okay, so
3 hours.
3 hours a week for 42 years.
Okay, so you gotta do times
52 weeks in a
52,
year.
right?
Yeah.
And then multiply that by 42.
3 hours, so 3 times 52. Okay, I will have this in a
Thank you.
minute.
And I'll find out how many hours we've actually
Between
had
Wendy
here.
and me, we'll get it.
All right.
1,600, 6,000. That's my guess.
Okay.
All right.
I
So,
just rounded off.
And now, for our magnum opus, our keynote, our stellar individual of the evening, Mrs. Stephanie Manning will come to the mic, and now I will be quiet for a while.
good. Give her a round of applause. Bring her on up.
Okay, so maybe you've wondered why the Giants, not a very good team, are suddenly doing so well. Or maybe you've wondered why some poets that come up to read at the mic, maybe their work you're not that fond of, or it's maybe not their best work, but there's something about the way they read it that's just spectacular, and it's a knockout, and they really do well. So I'm featuring Federico Garcia Lorca and his In Search of Duende. Duende is the reason the Giants are doing well right now.
Oh,
Duende.
That was
And
kind of
so
a stretch, but you got that.
I'm going to read from I'm not going to read his poetry, but I'm going to read from a speech he made in 1933. Lorca lived from 1898 to 1936 when he was assassinated by the fascists. I'm just going to read a little bit about Duende. As simply as possible, in the register of my poetic voice that has neither the glow of woodwinds nor bends of hemlocks nor sheep who suddenly turn into knives of irony, I shall try to give you a simple lesson in the hidden aching spirit of Spain. The duende is a power, not a work. It is a struggle, not a thought. I have heard an old maestro of the guitar say, the duende is not in the throat. The duende climbs up inside you from the soles of the feet. Meaning this, it is not a question of ability, but of true living style of blood, of the most ancient culture, of spontaneous creation. The great artists of the south of Spain, whether gypsy or flamenco, whether they sing, dance, or play, know that no emotion is plausible unless the duende comes. They may be able to fool people into thinking they have duende. Authors and painters and literary fashion mongers do so every day. But we have only to pay a little attention and not surrender to indifference in order to discover the fraud and chase away their clumsy artifice. He's from Andalusia, part of Spain. The Andalusian singer Pastora Pavon, La Niña de los Peines, dark Hispanic genius whose powers of fantasy are equal to those of Goya, was once singing in a little tavern in Cadiz. For a while she played with her voice of shadow, of beaten tin, her moss-covered voice, braiding it into her hair and soaking it in wine and letting it wander away to the father's darkest bramble patches. No use, nothing. The audience remained silent. As though crazy, torn like a medieval mourner, La Niña de los Peñas leaped to her feet, tossed off her big glass of burning liquor, and began to sing with a scorched throat, without voice, without breath or color, but with duende. She was able to kill all the scaffolding of the song and leave way for a furious, enslaving duende, friend of sand winds, who made the listeners rip their clothes with the same rhythm as do the blacks of the Antilles when, in the Lucumi rite, they huddle in heaps before the statue of Santa Barbara. La Niña de los Peñas had to tear her voice because she knew she had an exquisite audience, one which demanded not forms but the marrow of forms, pure music with a body lean enough to stay in the air. She had to rob herself of skill and security, send away her muse, and become helpless that her duende might come and deign to fight her hand to hand. And how she sang! Her voice was no longer plain. It was a jet of blood worthy of her pain and her sincerity. And it opened like a 10-finger hand around the hot-nailed, stormy feet of a Christ by Juan de Huna. Anyway, I could go on, but I'm going to put this book. So search for your duende.
Wow, thank you. You know, when you do the mint, when you do the peanut, you can also email. Okay, all right. Sally loves Saunders, then Owen, then Bill, then Clara. Oh, you did, then Stephanie. So, Sally, when you're ready. On to the move.
I like to read right in the beginning, and then I can really listen to you all. I'm not sitting there thinking, what should I say? What should I say? After I finish, that I'm 100% yours. The way I decide what I'm going to read is I take an empty bag and I put it on my doorknob, and whatever notebook jumps into it first is the one that gets to go. I think of my poems as my children. Got 3,000 of them. They have a life of their own. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever written a poem and then you can't find it? And then the poem is hiding someplace? And you have to talk. I talk to my poetry. I say, come on, it's okay. It's okay. I won't read you right off the bat. Green clover memory. So terrified of having to walk through snow and slip. All kinds of horrible memories of falls as a kid. Awkwardness in kindergarten in the snow. Terrified to tears. Then a kind man, Reggie, said he would escort me through the snow. And he did. He made a green path of clover, a bright green clover, like a red carpet in the snow. That green clover memory I will cherish like a gem in my mind. And when the terrain of life seems slippery and scary, I'll remember the path Reggie made of his bright green clover in the snow in the wilderness. Spiraling down choices. It used to be there was one answer, and that was that. Now there's an autumn leaf of assortment of answers. Boy, is that true? You know, when you Google something, or you just want to get a few paper clips and so many choices. Nothing simple anymore. It's fall again. Leaves falling, being raked up and removed in big bags. The ground is barren where the leaves were. My life has autumns, seasons when winds blow harshly and leaves fall off trees. It's a sad time, but I have to rake and remove the leaves. Spring, new buds, new plans, new beginnings, a precious time. Summer, for play and getting away. But now it's fall, The cold winds are blowing, and lost and dead leaves are in the air. Dead leaves smell of death. It's 2 a.m. in my mind, and I'm walking down a mental city street. Scary thoughts of childhood follow on the street. An empty gum paper lies open that once cozied a stick of gum. I miss the cave shelter of home with warm fire and nurturance, loving tribe and hugs. Sometimes my childhood says interfere, like a scary monster going boom. The work now is to become the adult for me, the caretaker for me. But I miss the cozy blanket of the farm where I was tucked in. When I did poetry therapy at a hospital, there was another woman who was doing music therapy. And we put on a play, and we had the patients write about the Me Nobody Knows. We set it to music. And so I wrote a poem about the Me Nobody Knows. The Me Nobody Knows wears tall high boots and walks bonsai dogs down Fifth Avenue, wearing huge dark glasses and exotic hats and long earrings and elevated shoes. The Me Nobody Knows is skinny and tall and turns heads. The Me Nobody Knows is a pipe dream. Knowing you has been riding the merry-go-round, never able to get the gold ring, but on each time circling, hoping that maybe this time I will catch the gold ring. I'm thinking maybe I had better get off the horse and off the merry-go-round, but for some reason I don't. Nita Schroeder at Brown Ledge Camp. It was just the being with her that was the pleasure. No agendas, no events, just laughing and enjoying being with her. No schedule, nor a ticket to buy, nor weather to contend with. It was the relaxation of laughing and laughing and laughing. A washing machine has to stop the spin cycle before the soaking can begin. And so I have to stop, yes, stop, before centering and reflecting can begin. Canadian geese in military form fly across the horizon. Their straight black line reminds me of a Navajo's weaving shuttle going from side to side, leaving a dark pattern on the moon of the sky. Autumn, the branch has turned into a saucer. My soul, the cup that sits, nestled in it. My sister's nails. My mother's line between her two brows she tried to erase and renew with patches and exercise. I try and renew mine, but doing inward things like breathing and meditating and thinking beautiful thoughts. I guess my mother taught me that, to do spiritual exercises, she said, like sitting up exercises, need to be done daily. My mother was more scheduled, even though I too make lists, lots of lists. Thank you.
Poet extraordinaire. Owen Dunkel, then Bill, then Clara, then Stephanie coming back up. Give Owen a nice round, please.
It's his birthday.
Huh?
It's his birthday.
Oh, when?
Is it your birthday?
19th is my birthday.
So coming up, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
A poem at Starbucks. Melody d'Amour. The day talks. It is near the end. Summer is frantic. I am somewhat pedantic. There is antic hay, the lofty spires of inspiration. It is sultry days, so fresh sallies, so near. Dear hearts are everywhere. Life is an English madrigal. Love has wandered off. This Columbus day was made for sleep. My deep, dear darling, echoes of my flying pen. Metaphors are everywhere. Christ is a stallion. Pedantic is frantic. America is freaky. Poem. Horses at dawn. The harness of homeward. Two faces get on with cases. One a stranger, two with purpose. The joy be good. Stereo Steve. Two cynics at dawn. Altercation away with you. Shredding my being, it is nothing to frolic. The learning me, I stop myself. Frantic first, I drool over Yule. A logic burns inside me. Sleep blesses me. There are necessary doodads at auction. Gary Owen died for our sins. America freaks. Poem at Starbucks. Bellow wood, below wood, we are fast and furious. Pushy, punky in particular, feasting and forgetting about fornicating. Getting on spending, we lay waste. Doggerel jogging can say my name in public. Sesame and sixpence, sexy all. Poem at Starbucks. Manly violin, mostly Taurus. Siemens are celestial. Days is delight, point to the stars. Saddest are sad to the sad sack. Too much others. Cannibals glow, the fallible leads the way. Glorious downtrodden, space fills the stars. Glorious troubadours, the Yankees are on the Yangtze. Two revers for Aquarius. Can't cancel that good feeling. Item, itch for every inch. Simon is silent, patrons are polite. Death is dishonorable. USMC, pay for pain. This is from my chapbook, Tight Sing Outcry. Out. The glorious sun ran amok outside as cunning waves in the sparkling blue and turquoise sea told me the truth and held my hand. Yes, held me as I lay on the beach watching the sunbathers, those fat grown inquisitors and their children frolic like sandpipers, running in circles, running here, falling down there, circles, a diagonal line going somewhere, the parents' hope, the tides of encouragement, the foam of astonishment. But there only the sand can hide and herald its way to heaven like a wayward angel.
Yeah.
Psalms. Only the chatting midnight rain beats down from its sultry showers. Erase a unicorn upon its sultry towers, chimes from its nocturne time and again, wetting its lips upon my eaves of pain. Its cold branches tell of the hours, laughter and lust become ill, sours the bleak covenant we call the sea. Gods and princesses all begat, a nimby-voiced, goat-bearded boy. Odysseus set sail, we never sat along your passions and penance. Destroy the harp of plenty we pluck through the day standing, bid the sun adieu. whippoorwill. Will-o'-the-wisp blank in the firelight of roses. Sparrows mock and cross each other in the huge, dank, dark sky of pain that drank the iron draught. The albatross we court like cavaliers that toss the caber, the hand of the tank that can drown all our sorrows. And our fright that doth travail off to the heavens, that narrows the barren bravura our minds to avail. Our thin arms of love and dismay, sunny skies are barren, a mind iron gray. One night, it happened on a nail taken sitting on an upside-down pail. Sylvia tonight, the late misbegotten strumpetress of verses, flaxen of brilliant bravura, the goring, her tour de force, her life of brilliant, boring pass at fame and rhyme, at the dim and glamour and clamor of poetry, take work by an exceptional matador. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Owen. Bill, then Clara, then Stephanie, then Wendy, then myself. This is Zane, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure I got it right. My eyes. Yeah, I got you.
Right.
Yeah, he's on. He's our.
Well, I've got a couple of poems about wordlessness. Unfortunately, I had to put words in it to do the poem. In the beginning was the wordless. In the beginning was the wordless. Before tongue painted the apple red, there was apple in hand. Before tongue painted the apple sweet, there was apple in mouth. Before words scrabbled us to win or lose, victory and defeat, senses spoke, touch and taste and sight and smell and sound. Before the categories and strategies and strictures and structures and hierarchies of the word, there was, is. I want my words to clothe the wordless like the peel of an orange. I want you to pluck this orange from the hidden tree. I want you to unclothe this orange gently and discard the peel tenderly. I want you to bite into the wordless heart like you had walked across the desert without a canteen. I want you to gather the seeds and plant them in fertile ground. Night camp. The squeegee of darkness has washed the cataract of words from the mind's eye. Along the coast where land and water marry and mate, the waves slowly tap the Morse code of oceanic love to the statuesque and willing earth. The beach receives the surf's roaring thrust, then groans its orgasmic response as the waters slide back into the sea. Sentinel cedars stiffen their backs as they silently work their talons ever deeper into the all-engendering earth, while the leafage sips lightly the sweet wine of ocean-washed air. The Sufi clouds slowly swirl about the mystical moon as an ancient owl, late for a rendezvous, dashes across the sky. In the distance, the growl of a bobcat, a thrashing of leaves, a thumping, then silence. One life ends, another life is preserved.
Bill Mercer, thank you. And now the world-renowned and well-traveled Clara Sue is coming up to the microphone to regale us heartily with her experiences, both poetic and off.
So most of you know I went to Cuba for 2 weeks, and I have this poem that describes an evening in Baracoa, which is sort of the tip of Cuba. An evening where myself and 3 other women rescued a puppy, this big. So here's the poem, titled Quartet. People come together for comfort, knowing that the night is fleeting. Rain makes us huddle against a wall, makes the night all the more needy. Break the monotonous fall, stress, the unbearable heat, and chase loneliness, that little beast around the corner. A virgin must have the look of purity. Her delicate pale skin must not be scorched by the sun, and her lips must be painted red and moist, a cherry not to be picked, but to be desired. When she walks onto the stage, the devil hides his face from her brilliance. He trembles under her spell, and when it was all over, a young man wants to know if she would dance with him. The one-eyed man sings, "How many more mojitos can changeras?" It depends on the pesos in the pocket. Sandpaper toys, Cajon is the loon, Tracy Chang Chang, he holds my fingers and releases them slowly. We part like lovers. What are dogs if they are not beasts? A litter, a pile of trash, refuse to be carelessly discarded. Between low-growing bushes lies a white plastic bag. The clutch of death has no mercy, but the cry of life defies language, asserts a light into our psyche, reminds us the existence of the heart, tender, receptive, with a capacity deep as the ocean. That each life, however lowly, brown, caked with mud from pulling itself out of the white plastic bag, is a miniature cosmos. And when it begs to be saved, it must be saved. It must be then holding it in the palms, feeling the legs kicking, looking into its dark eyes, soothing its gritty forehead, coming close to the danger of naming it. When you name it, it is yours, violating the courtesy of a guest to bring back the beast, raid the kitchen, feed it milk. What is the price of acceptance? What is it that makes people turn away their heads? What is it that makes them indifferent? How do you find your way in if not by knocking, or to stand in front of an open door until someone comes out? If my skin is the color of honey, I would cry a river to gain my wish. Politeness gets you nowhere but a smile, quizás, quizás. Bakers are gentle folks. They work with yeast, steeped in the aroma of fresh breads. Bakers wear the color of angels. The hands are strong and soft from kneading and shaping dough. The rain has stopped. Their work is done. In the soft light, they walk out, stretching and yawning. With palms outstretched, I walk up to them. Please, take the puppy. For love, the Indian chief captured the yellow of the sun, the green of the meadows, the brown of the mountains, the pink of the flowers, the white of the foamy waves. But night caught him by surprise. He could not capture in time the blue of the sky. So he took the black of night. With all the colors, he painted the polymeters and gave them to his love. The 4 women danced on the street, triumphant that the pup is delivered. And the young man who has been following them smiles shyly. One of the women asks, "What do you do?" He works his arms. A gardener, one guesses. A bricklayer, the other one guesses. He nods his head to all suggestions. Night has grown strong and stronger is the love. Thank you.
Yes, Sue, thank you. All right, that brings us back to Stephanie Manning, who was our keynote. She's going to read something else now, and then we have Wendy, myself, Zane, and Tanya, our feature of the evening, will hold forth and hold steady.
I stand on a cliff in the wilderness. The demon who has possessed me for many months flies off into the distance. How much will I shrink as he leaves? But light still reflects off of creek water, and the smell of the air after a rainstorm fills the nostrils after a long dry spell. Hard work is ahead and good dinners, poetry and funny scenes. I am sober again, stumbling along to the future. The path is full of adventures and so many encirclings. I am sweeping up at the end of each day's parade, and nobody offers to help me. No, that's not it. Nobody can stop me. Nobody, just me lives my life. The opposite of worry is action.
Nicely done. Hey, Wendy, then myself, then Zane, and then our feature for the evening. Give her a nice round of applause. Or a rectangle.
This is one of my favorite stanza from Lao Tzu. I'm forgetting who translated it. There is no need to run outside for better seeing, nor to peer from a window. Rather, abide at the center of your being, for the more you leave it, the less you learn. Search your heart and see if he is wise who takes each turn. The way to do is to be. This is called Like the Natural World. Oh, my life, let me be like the natural world. It just is, true to its essence, fulfilling its very own energy, its self. Let me be like the natural world. Oh, my life, let me be like the natural world. It flows without effort into each changing circumstance, revealing new forms, respectful of balance. Here, take all my judgments and foolish opinions. Take all those misleading robbers of heaven. Oh, give me that joy, the great bliss of love's beauty. Let me be like the natural world. I want to be strong and focused like earth, spacious and free as air, soothing and healing the way of water, transforming through light to create. Impatience pushes me off my true path, but the trees stand steadfast and firm. Fear brings worry, I won't do enough, while the sky accepts all with much room to forgive. Anger's sting builds many a frustration, yet water joins what it meets. Sadness dampens my heart's inspiration, but the passionate fire of the sun, though far off, shines bright hope with its cheer where I stand. I am made of the elements, earth, water, fire, and air, coursing through senses and limbs and each thought, forming and changing whatever I am. Oh, my life, let me be like the natural world. It just is, true to its essence, fulfilling its very own energy, its self. Let me be like the natural world. Let me be what I am, nothing less, nothing else. This is a And I realized I was going crazy. And I want to start it with something that Joe Miller, an American mystic who used to be co-host and facilitator of the Theosophical Society in San Francisco. And he said, you can get more stinking from thinking than you can from drinking. But to feel is for real. By Joe Miller. So this poem's called Feel for Real. The sun is calling me out. The sun is calling me out. Why stay inside and think and plan while the sun is shining bright, its passionate light? Oh, don't be absurd. My body wants to feel for real. My body wants to feel for real. The flowers are calling me out. The flowers are calling me out. It's okay to be happy and free of such fuss. Come out and play with us. We can offer you more than you've ever learned. Join us now. Oh, don't hesitate. Your body wants to feel for real. Your body wants to feel for real. The birds are calling me out. The birds are calling me out. Beauty's over here, so near and dear. We're singing to you. We're singing your song. Don't be absurd. Don't hesitate. Your body wants to feel for real. Your body wants to feel for real.
Thank you, Wendy. All right. I'm going to raise this up.
As I am wont to do. Hello, everyone. How are you this evening? Hello back there.
Hi.
Did you want to maybe read later on?
Yes, yeah, my daughter and I would like.
Okay, so after the feature, there'll be a break and you can sign up.
Great.
All right.
You didn't mix the feature good.
There you go.
Bam.
I'm not the feature, though. Just so. All right, so
What did I pick?
this one for? Okay. So I've given up mostly reading the news, and here's why. This is called Glory, and if you remember the movie called Glory, this was written after I saw that and got really upset behind it, but anyway. Sorry, here we go. Of glory I write, and flags, and more, of causes so great as drive the chariots of war, of banners and pennants, and for the crimson on their cloth, of speeches and drumming, bugling, fifes, and rulers wroth, of those brightly young, so handsome, so whole, courageous, and strong, of the surety they couldn't possibly be wrong. Of glory I write, and flags, and more, of marching, and pride, of bullets, and gore. In these deepening days, there is a pall. Battle is now modern, not simple at all. The world of war has changed of late, for pride has waxed. It's now globally great, as are the sins of ignorance, greed, and hate. Race and culture still play their parts, as do philosophy, economics, and the sacred beliefs held dear in our hearts. So no thing is left that could be called clean. All is sullied by the Midas touch that has made everything mean. Every hand has its own form of that damned stain. Every dream has been taken and turned into pain. Of glory I write, and flags and more, of stories and children that lead them on to war. And those songs and verse of overweening glory too, and legends of godlike acts, more than a few. The man who struck 300 down dead, those 300 who stood against a tide of millions instead. All the spit and polish that swells a heart with pride, all the boasting fools on any fighting side. So, we're in interesting times, as more hear the cry, as they rush answering the call, never questioning why. Would that the world give up its torturous dread, as has made human history so drippingly red, that has cut the yield of promising lives, who then march along with their damned honored dead. So mothers will weep and lovers moan, while fathers walk it off and sigh alone. Yet millions don uniforms today as before, so millions more will die evening their score, while further millions all cheering wish them well. And this will continue until that rough beast of Mars falls into hell. See, and now this is the lighter side. Always end on the good note, my mom said. Not a B flat. Anyway. From the start of this universe until now, there has always been the light. Clearly, it is an essential factor for what else do we all come to, both eventually and aright, but the light, light, light. No thing overshadows this. It's what moves this poor body, causes my fingers to trace such moments as this, counsels the passion coursing my heart well, and what else so enlivens my giddy soul this very night? The light, light, light. Now, terms cannot describe or contain this. Actions provide mere indications. Lyrics might bear it so long as the breath bears them. Nothing temporal can truly be seen without it, and all things eternal are made up only of it. What moves us within so as to create without, passing for inspiration sight, but the light, light, light. And so in the deep cold world of winter, when sullen, lifeless, and leaden heavens occlude the hope of celestial bodies, when the landscape beneath is set in a monochromatic display, yes, fish may still seize the day beneath their ice, furtive, burrowing survivors will abide, and the heart of an owl harbors its heated blood as it wings down silently after sighting its prey. Dark talons clutch the unwary or luckless, where blood spatters on moonlit white. What else rules there? The light, light, light. What muffles the tolling bell better than distance and time? What rings it ever clearer to echo in the mind? What is the message it means to send all these years later? What do I do by telling you this? Why do such words as these make their way here? What causes my spirit to soar, my heart and mind then to quicken? What makes a singular difference, no matter how seemingly slight? But the light, light, light. When death is no longer that distant, dismissed threat, but present, promised, and immediately certain, your intimate companion, if you will, waiting on you, so to speak, hand and foot. What moves still until that very last? What makes its essential different felt? What is there to keep in sight but the light, light, light? Thank you.
Now, before our future, we have Zane. Come on up here, Zane. Give him a nice round. Is this the first time here? Well, it's not. I was going to do a kind of animal sound, but that's fine. I know. Maybe this. Are you really truly not your first time?
Yeah, no, it's good to be back.
Oh, okay. All right. So, well, welcome back.
Yeah, I haven't been here in like a year or so.
All right.
It's irrelevant, but we've got to throw something into the air, knock golf balls off the moon. We're all growing apart faster and faster with copies in other rooms as other universes with infinity mirrors and a collection of gypsy tears for holy water. The sons are daughters, the saving graces are slaughtered. Say your prayers before sleep, Johnny. Someone is listening. Something is listening. The water is glistening. And listen to the kissing. Listen to the missing heartbeats. Stare into the black hole. Stare into the singularity. Take the sun. Put it in the cage. Tell the solar system you've taken its god hostage. Put it up for a ransom. Tell everyone to plant a flower. Tell them to ring around the rosy. Tell them water is wet. Tell them the whole world is in debt to the universe with currency we can't conceive. Tell them the world has stopped bleeding, clogged arteries and circulation, but still throws rocks at passing by cars. Tell them rules are rules are rules, and no one will put you in jail for proving gravity wrong. Jump off the Golden Gate Bridge and kiss your future kids in that universe you haven't shook hands with yet. Tell them laughter is helter-skelter. Tell them to buy more Hamburger Helper because we all need more brand names in our pantry. Tell them the young are only getting younger and maturity is bankrupt, selling off possessions like IKEA's last catalog. Tell them the world is burning. Tell them the students are sick of learning. Cats have stopped purring and we're all turning the clock backwards because stupid is as stupid does, and I'd step on 36 butterflies of last year and slap my past self in the face, telling him secrets of who wins the race, just so that I could have a simple place sitting next to her, right next to her, blooming sunflowers out of eyelids, just to grab onto the unattainable, to look God in the eyes and ask for an apology, ask Vonnegut if you really smoked that many cigarettes, putting leaders into a burning building, letting the temperature rise and smoke billow, give them a Bible for a pillow and their eternal rest, give them a skip in their step of the subconscious faltering and asking questions only dead people know the answer to, only sleeping pixies and fairies dreamt of once at midnight when their nightlight was left on, with jazz music playing, with jazz music playing, with jazz music playing, with jazz music playing. Nicotine fingers twist the dial, turn it to NPR, then click it off and stare into the graveyard of stars, wondering what we truly are, where we truly are, wondering if this is our last destination, if we are another rebroadcast of simple telecommunication, if we are a rerun of television that no one is watching, if the pixels shine in technicolor, if the father of the universe has a mother, if the repetitive stutter means anything more than thinking about speaking, more than thinking about thinking, wondering why the number 0 was so hard to come up with. Why it was an invention of complex human thought that we could have nothing. Maybe thousands of years upon thousands of years we were optimists, go out and break the calculators, throw the books in the trash, burn the trees, melt the permafrost, eat the fried foods, eat the Twinkies, stuff the truth of the world down the throat of infants as they come out of the womb, choking paradise lost, paradise lost, paradise lost, at a cost we'll never have the chance to pay off. But hey, thanks for the consciousness, said the bird to the sky. I do, said the girl to the guy. Why? Never wondered the divine piano notes floating into the sky like smoke, like golf balls off the moon, running after balloons that we'll never catch. But run fast, cause you just might. The chase makes you feel like you're doing something right. Break the daisy chain around your neck and tie it around your ankle. Let the flowers be your footsteps, sink into the earth, and let your mother guide you. Let the unknown be your revival, and fantasy as your savior. Never forget you have the privilege of dreams. The first love painted on the wall. Life is never as it seems, and it would be too easy. Thank you.
Thank you, Zane. All right.
Now, I'm going to have the feature come up here in just a minute before I start talking like these in strange ways. Like, this is a magical person. She may not think of herself as a magical person, but she is a magical person. Her poetry reflects a large realm of mysticism and intuitional wisdom, and it goes way, way back in the subconscious to the times in the primordial, I think.
That is a lovely introduction.
Well, I thank her for that, but you will really enjoy this as I have heard her poems before and enjoyed them. So give her a nice warm welcome, Miss Tommy Joyce.
I'll adjust the microphone to keep your... Oh, that's, hold on a second. Stop that. You're just beginning.
Yeah.
Is this good like this?
Yes.
And then there you go. Now when you go out, just go here.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
Well, I really did like Dan's introduction. I've never heard that one before, and it's very appropriate for me being here because this is definitely my favorite venue for reading poetry in San Francisco, even though I don't get here very often. I'm going to start with a
a poem that's I wrote in the 1960s, and people kept saying, "Is that a poem or not?" After a while, I stopped even bothering with that question. It's called Idea. Someone should write a story about the lady artist who, in order to appear trustworthy and conservative while looking for a job, bought high heels and nylons, and then, planning to shave her legs, shaved her head by mistake.
That is a poem.
So this one is called Hungrily I Reach into the Soup Pot. Hungrily I reach into the soup pot and pick out hot-cooked vegetables. Will my stomach burn like the monk Shadow's when he ate half-roasted taro root? On the road to enlightenment, it is the heart that is supposed to be aflame. I think that the light touch is not out of keeping with deeper thoughts. This one is called To Sam Francis, Painter of Power, and I wrote it when I was living next to DuBose Park, which is a little green area where the N. Judah streetcar goes into the east portal of the tunnel. To Sam Francis, Painter of Power. Dear Sam, you are from my town, from the city I have come to feel is home, since it is tolerant of me. Across the bay in Berkeley, one of your masked and deep-stained works hangs on an imposing wall beside a work of mine. I came to like your paintings, Sam, when you began to cut the middles out of them. It seemed to me a Buddha laugh. You left the middles out of them, or mostly so, at least. Beautiful things I saw first in Chicago, huge, luscious banana yellow, wine grape lavender, assaulting red and green. And I recall the first ones I had ever seen of yours inside the air-conditioned Whitney long ago before it moved uptown. In my little gingham school dress, full of notions, having been told I painted too fast with faulty perspective on surfaces too rough. Oh, impetuous. Oh, the hot, muggy, wonderful New York summer, smoggy, black, Big Apple sun. But Sam, you know, there's something I have to say to you, and it's a hard thing, I think, for you to understand the way I mean it. They're tearing up the park I live beside. My lovely park I've walked around for years is dry and dusty. Dying trees and dirt and sunken ruts consume it. I thought I couldn't write about it anymore, the way it looks, until today. But when my dog went over to the fence beside the park, to John and Ellen's fence beneath the avocado tree, to take a pee along the brown and weathered boards, the way he peed looked like your painting, Sam, and that's the part I hope you'll understand the way I mean it. I mean he peed with power, Sam. And then all gravity pulled pee along the boards, just like your paintings, round and long, attacked, relieved, and splashed, and streaked along the fence with all the wonderful oblivion I felt in my first little blue and white checked gingham dress inside the Whitney years ago when I said, it's only drips. It's black and red drips down the page. But I never forgot it, and I've never excelled it, and I love it. And his pee is just like it, Sam, except it doesn't come in rainbows like yours. So this is the things I've read so far from my first collection called A Sampler of Poems, and I called it a sampler in reference to textiles, which is a big love of mine, because it's got short things and long things and a little bit of everything. The second one I did is called Celestial Animals, and it has a section for each of the animals from the lunar zodiac. And since this is the year of the horse, I picked out a very short poem, which I'll read twice, from this section on the year of the horse. The New Moon. The new moon vanishes in the sky like a Tai Chi master disappearing among students. The new moon vanishes from the sky like a Tai Chi master disappearing among students. A book I edited is called Tarot Haiku, and there's a group in San Francisco called the Thursday Night Tarot that has been going since 1950. I'm the current chair, and Richard Jerome Bennett, who was a member of the group, decided what we should do after each evening of discussion is write a short poem about the card from the major arcana of a tarot deck that we've been discussing in the same way that you might discuss a mandala. And our host at the time was Anna Ruth Kipping, who was a big haiku fan. So that was the source of Richard's idea. And I have two poems on, since we're in the sign of Libra right now, and especially for Owen's birthday, I'll read two poems from the Justice Key, which is associated with the balance of Libra. The first one is by Tesh Riley. Justice, harmony, oneness, not knowing how it comes about. I will listen to diversity. And the second one is by Richard Jerome Bennett, and it has a little quote at the top. I don't know where the quote comes from. Beauty and the silver sword. She is savory, such suave our fare. Justice is more than just desserts. She is savory, such savoir-faire. Justice is more just than desserts. So this is a long poem. It's from a quartet I wrote about Dubois Park. For a couple of years, I was corresponding with the literary critic John W. Aldrich, because as it turned out, some of my teachers were friends with him. And I met him at a conference. And we would write each other about some of the things that are going on in American society and the arts. And this is called Poem for a Friend on the occasion of his 50th birthday. It was for Mr. Aldrich, and I did send him a copy. He said that he had never been honored by having something like that reach him before, and he thought some of my poetry was okay and others were too close to prose for his taste. But he was a cool guy. And very good looking as well, I will say. It was a moon for William Butler Yeats. Full and cold, the rain stopped, an early rain, quick and positive like you. It turned the hills green early, keeping the morning glories alive in the small garden of an elderly woman who told me not to let my dog sniff in her yard. A white, flaky-faced woman, her mouth a break in her powder. In her nightgown, she opened her window, a delicate ghost, like your dear southern gentility, that I know only in your words and in this woman. The rain made a pool of water at the end of Dubose Park. Fill the hole where daily dogs dig and smell each other. Above it, a magnolia, stiff and shiny, dripped water, fractured the moon. I was obsessed, entered the water, the white, glassy lozenges of light, knew the wordless action that precedes making art. Thought of you. Was it still your birthday, late and dark, a moon for William Butler Yeats, full and cold. Clouds broke and passed, the kind of clouds that make the moon seem in a hurry. White, dusty clouds, musty and pungent like Yeats. In Carolyn's green and white kitchen, 8 people talking literature. We missed you, thought we would not disappoint you, talking art, sewing sequins, drawing pictures, clicking jade around our throats, full of talking and books, the cats looking in from window boxes, waiting for the dogs to lie down and sleep. Why is it a moon for William Butler Yeats, they asked me, when, wet and excited, full of the wordless glassy lozenges of light, of the clear, light yellow cutting smell of September blossoming magnolias, of the stiff, shiny dripping. I ran down the park, dark and green, glassy with dew. I stopped, all feeling and no words, angered that they did not see the moon as I did, wanting not to fight for words, feeling pulled between the wordless action and the joy of fact, pulled between its roundness and its green presence, its translucent baby skin whiteness, its creature either yelping or in song, the joy of fact. I said, it is a moon for William Butler Yeats because of being full and cold. And in the saying, in the clear, full joy of saying what I meant, I thought of you. So I have a new book out called Dreams of Pan, and it is the first book I've been associated with that has an ISBN number for those who are interested. I never knew that was a big deal, but it is. These are poems in Russian by Semyon Mirkin, who also did illustrations for the book. It's kind of hard to see what the pictures look like. I've got copies here you can look at. Here is a picture of Pan. All you can see from a distance really is that it's a black line drawing. But there's a book here that you can look at. So Simon and I both belong to Pinole Artisans, which is one of the few arts groups in the Bay Area that welcomes both poetry and visual art. And he came up to me one day and said, I want you to translate my poems into English. And I said, you know I don't speak Russian. He said, that's all right. I will tell you. And I thought what he meant was that he had a rough draft he wanted me to polish for idiomatic reasons. But that's not what he meant. He meant literally what he'd said. He would read the Russian, I would hear the poetry and feel it, and then he would speak to me in English, I would take notes and create something. After 3 years, that actually worked. Many drafts and a great deal of reading on my part. I would not have attempted it, except I've known Russian people all my life, and I'm just really drawn to Slavic culture, so I had that background. Pan, the title is called Dreams of Pan, and Pan is an English word that we kind of compromised on. It was suggested by one of Simon's daughters, because what that concept is in Russian, he prefers to say the devil, but it's not like a Christian devil. It is a huge power of earth, like one of the poems we were hearing earlier this evening about those large powers that, you know, we could see in the sky somewhat this afternoon, just beyond anything we can do. So I'm going to read 2 poems from this collection in English. If anybody is here who speaks Russian and would like to have a go at the Russian, it's a bilingual edition. I'd be happy to hear it. One that is at the beginning and one at the end. Here is how Pan appears to Simon. His name is actually Semyon, but he says for people call him Simon in English. For 13 months, year long, he doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't feast. For 13 months, year long, Pan haunts me like a beast. No one can mark where he is from. Nobody knows the way he came. I saw him as a spark, and now he sets my beard aflame. During the day, he pokes my ribs. At night, he crawls into my dreams the way a snake might make its way into a baby's crib, it seems. He makes me grab my writing quill at the worst moments of the day, then turns me all at his will until I face my desk, and there I stay. Perhaps I see his snout, all steamy, pressed against my window pane. My brush shakes. It's plain to see my colors spilled. I'm helpless in the face of ink swirling into horns, head, and eyes that laugh at tears and pain. Prompted by black humors, on my page, tortured heads and faces rise. Hoofed figures, all from wretched places, hunched spines and devilish eyes. In every doorway, wide or narrow, in tiny attics where I hide, even in the smallest corner, he haunts me year long at my side. And at the end there is an invocation to the divine peace that Russian culture, Slavic culture also has going at the very same time that the difficulties are there. It's called invocation. Divine One, forgive us. Forgive that we aren't angels. Provide for all of us. Include us all. Give everyone something. All generations, kids and grandkids, responsible adults. Forgive that we don't lead a kosher life. Forgive that we want to live long, even when our days aren't great. Forgive that we have forgotten you. Forgive us for what we don't know about. And finally, don't forget about me, who forms these words for you. It's a suite of 15 poems, each one with an illustration. How am I doing for time? Okay. Poetry readings, especially here, and at a couple places in the East Bay, inspire me. And in the middle of the night last night, I wrote something new. So here it is. Doesn't have a title yet. Over and over, I think about a photo from the internet, from Google Maps. Click on Street View. Move the arrow around to see where you are. The arrow lands me near a front porch I stood on many times. Several kids I knew had lived there. Harry, Alice, Chris, Cricky, Betsy, Taya, Marty, Dickie. But Harry was the first. We were 12. I was invited to his birthday party. Soon, girls were all on one side of the room, boys on the other. I wanted boys to find me interesting, so I glanced their way. They were telling jokes, using vocabulary parents disapproved of. We girls used the same vocabulary, so I decided to join the boys, to show I understood where they were coming from, getting to know them by using the same words they did. The effect was not what I anticipated. Instead of getting chummy, the boys drew back, huddled together like a vampire was about to bite them. I couldn't understand what they were afraid of. I was just using the same words they did. One of them blurted out, "Girls aren't supposed to know those words." I sighed, and have sighed again, over the simple fact that we're not supposed to know those words, but we do. If I have a couple minutes,
Yeah.
I wanted to read something. One of the people who I think is not here right now, he came in earlier and talked about a poem of opposites that has first written version of it we have was from 1340, and we still have it today in a variety of ways. And I remembered we had a version of it in school, and our version went like this. Early in the morning, in the middle of the night, two dead boys got up to fight. Back to back they faced each other, drew their swords and shot each other. A deaf policeman heard the noise and saved the lives of the two dead boys. And I had no idea at the time this went back to 1340, but I'm a big fan of medieval poetry, so I kind of dredged that up in some mysterious way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tanya. All right. So, so that was that was the original Mr. Natural who put up the video. So that's who was that. And he knows all sorts of wonderful, strange, and bizarre facts. We're going to take a brief break, and if you haven't signed up, now is the time to do that because we can come back after the break and hear everyone who still wants to read. We got plenty of time. So, about 10 minutes, schmooze as you like, and we'll return indirectly. Thank you.
Yeah, I put you on. So do you want to?
I've been here once.
I want to make sure she has a chance.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You want to read?
Yes.
You want to read?
Yes.
Michael, and you were on. Oh yeah, there you go. There. Pick a number, any number. We already got you. You are there. You're gonna be hopefully the country closer. Bulldozer.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if I told this, but at one point, we only told Anna Ruth.
Thank you.
And Anna Ruth had a lot of mobility problems. So she said, I don't think we need the front door of several doors. I saw something that you said from Berkeley.
I never, that just stayed in my mind. Well, one day when I've been working at the computer for a while. I just grabbed something. Right, because you're surrounded by fresh air. Nothing special.
Yeah.
Are you the DJ?
One thing that sometimes I fool myself with being insistent. So it's usually pretty crowded. It's like,
The laundry thing you were doing?
Yeah.
It was Spanish music, gypsy music, or
I have to
flamenco.
got to the
Flamenco is?
where it really does that.
well, I haven't gotten to it.
6'4" giants.
I'm wearing the hat. Well, this is the end of the season. We're going to be in the World Series.
I
can't believe you're sitting here, Bill. You should be at a bar somewhere.
I did a couple of days in the bars.
Oh,
They chased me out. I don't drink.
oh, yeah. They finally figured out.
Well, I might buy a non-alcoholic beer. That's why I spend money, but,
It's not enough for them.
but yeah. You know, it's strange. It's like the saloon, I've been kicked out of the saloon twice. Once for drinking, once for not drinking.
That's crazy.
Did the World Cup?
And I was spending money, you know. He just said, we don't want people in here drinking bubbly water. Get out.
Usually they don't care. Money's money is money is money.
You know, the saloon, they're drinkers.
Oh.
Yeah, the big drinker. You're
Big
a
drinker.
tiny drinker.
Well, I wasn't drinking at all. I was drinking bubbly water.
Oh. Like soda water.
You're making
Right.
them look
Oh, then I understand.
Yeah, they don't cotton to that.
They want to drink the building.
But anyway, I did a couple of days in the Giants in the bars. I had enough of the bars for a little while. So.
Well, I'm sure Buford did not hold. I'm sure
He's at the night hall.
No, usually.
pretty good.
So what's the score?
No, I just did it.
How you doing? Really?
Yes, 64 is 17.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it was a big inning before we started reading. That was a slow inning.
Miracle of the internet.
I want you to read this Cheers, not her.
Oh, I see. They don't get on
But
these.
apparently,
So it's supposed to be.
that's just not how scheduled it is.
Guys, wait a minute.
I heard from Bill, he's the guy that keeps everything.
Anything else? We're all ready to break.
They actually don't know about the thing. Didn't know it was him.
Good. Glad to hear
I'm not
that.
gonna. Yeah, I didn't know the person that I invited was that person that was out here.
Well, in these football games, every 3 or 4 batters, they change pictures. The pictures after that.
Oh,
Right.
And I realized that I didn't know whether I needed to show up at that. Someone suggested that someone along the line, and I looked up on the web, and sent an email. Yeah. So, but you know, the thing is like.
Yeah, you just keep warming
Baseball is such a slow game. During the regular season, I really can't watch it. But once you get into the playoffs, but everything.
Oh, yeah.
In the regular season,
We have 17 and 17. That's this year. Then there's, you have to do the same, 14, 41, and 28.
You're great. Oh, you need to have if you get it over your
basketball
head,
is competition.
then it's gonna be too
Baseball
much
is
for you, and then you're
competition.
gonna go.
Football is contact.
Yeah. Yeah. Good, good, good. Usually bring it. People get some. What do you mean? Oh,
I don't know. It indicates
But I have
So they built this whole new stadium, attendance like that.
Jim Morrison. But you amazed me. I mean, I was sitting there and just meeting everybody.
one of his daughters and his son-in-law have a group called the Holy Relationship, and they do
Well, there's another poetry.
when their names are on the when they heard that that's what I'm making this time. I don't know, sign it in with your wedding anniversary and also sign it 7 years. What they said is they wanted to
So after the second inning, the ticket sellers would go away. Oh, yeah. People were attending the Giants game. So after the second inning, you just walk in, you look at about 10 minutes.
So that's where I started from, and I never discovered all the world okay for that. And
I don't need picking on that kind of thing. Yes, you do a great job. Right.
my wife is Cambridge, so he has a very heavy Russian accent, and you have to kind of get used to his voice
Summer
and that.
winds, it was
But
in
I
fog.
think the point is I like him as one that they get along well. So that was.
What about Candlestick?
It was big.
No, I meant Keystone.
Oh, I didn't live near Keystone.
I see my wife.
I lived in, that's right across the street from Keystone, 5 years. Then I moved to right across the street from Candlestick. I lived just, I was like this day walk.
Use our stadiums this class.
Well, they're still using the space last letters, so you have a big wall.
Yes, I did. But it's also, there's also, right. But also,
Gewandert machen wohl in Kernabend sagen? Lachen machen wohl in Kernabend.
Wie geht's?
Ja, wie geht's? Ich gehe gut. Ich habe keine Hütte. Ach, meine Güte. Anyway, enough of that. Too many old movies, you know, those old movies where they're all the bad guys and they speak like that, you just don't like them anymore. Anyway, we're back, and I'd like to welcome back to Sacred Grounds, the oldest running, living, long, that we know of in the known and unknown universe. And since we have some new people in the house, I'd like to tell them my favorite political joke, which is George W. Bush.
Nice.
The gift that keeps on giving, much like certain social diseases. Anyway.
Garrett Murphy is going to kick it off. Then we have Eddie, then Sepin Cham, then the Brooklyn poet, the Reverend A. King. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Just make sure I got that. Antoinette, right?
Yeah.
And then Tarita.
Yes.
Did I say that right? Okay. And then our mini feature Greg, and then Rob, Gesh, the pitcher, closer, kicker, outer.
So, Lou, Garrett Murphy, please come to the mic. Give him a good round of applause. This guy, we like this guy. He's
Oh, I forgot to say this. Generally 5 minutes, just so the people who are new know.
That's
what I meant to say.
I have a couple of announcements. Number one is I'm one of several sets of readers on the 27th, which is a week from this coming Monday at the Berkeley City Club at about 7 p.m. And I'll be co-featuring with Nina Serrano at that event, and it's called Bay Area Generations, and there'll be about 5 or 6 other sets of readers there. Starts at 7 p.m. and there's a $10 donation, but there's no open mic, I'm afraid, but it'll still be quite interesting. Secondly, I've got a book that'll be coming out probably in a few weeks, and 2 of my pieces will be from that. Now showing at the Theater of the Absurd. The Theater of the Absurd presents a world premiere colossal proportions, the show of the century that awaits all to come and see, an epic the like of which no one has ever seen before and no one will ever see again. Live and in living color, a spectacle unique among all. Come one, come all, you must experience this gala. You dare not concern yourself about missing this presentation. And indeed, you will not miss this presentation. It is impossible to miss this presentation. For you see, you and me and everyone else are part of this presentation, for the audience and the players are all one and the same. For this production, now soaring at the Theater of the Absurd, is called Life Itself. Yours, mine, and everyone else's. The secret prerequisite for passing the Law Enforcement Academy. Congratulations to all you recruits. With the passage of our secret requirement, you have officially fulfilled all the tests for being able to call yourselves officers of the law. Let the outside world believe that what we mean by the special elite, that we mean toughening one's mind and body via basic training, or being proficient in hand-to-hand combat, or being the crackest shot imaginable. It is really none of those things. Nor is it familiarity with police jargon or military jargon, or how well you can handle our numerous types of armament, or even knowing your badge or serial number. The most uncanny and savvy among you manage to figure it out. It happens to be how well you can tell a tall tale. One that moves our allies in court and politics to believe you when you can tell how the target reach for your gun, or try to assault you, or try to threaten you and others. And you can now tell a most compelling story using that specially bred imagination. That, rookies, is what really makes a good law enforcer. You have passed with flying colors, and I am very proud of all of you. But just keep this in mind, officers. Real colors do not fly as gloriously as the ones you just passed with. The lady will not vanish. She stands herself at attention, steeling herself for the task at hand, taking a few deep breaths in her and out her as she eyes the course that looms. It is, of course, taken numerous times before, as familiar to her as the whole of a form. This trip as a whole has passed the halfway point. In a way, this task is just one more chapter. She knows too well what awaits her forward, the jives, the mocks, even Allison whistles as she proceeds with her journey for expression. These she knows by now are just mere envy. By now, though, she has learned to her sorrow that those uttering such, for most part, only wish that they had had her courage and her defiance, and not chosen to abide by figurative jailers. So she starts on the path that she goes on her way, she moves and she acts on the express of the day. Even she isn't always aware of particulars, but she goes on, she moves on, and dares to go for it. At last she has come to the end of the course, the chapter is concluded and another will come, but she has triumphed as over life itself. She has created still another masterpiece. The figurative jailers can only look with scorn, for try as they might, and for all they may snipe, the lady has not vanished, and the lady will not vanish.
All right, we have Eddie, then Stephen Champ, then the Brooklyn Poet, then the Reverend A. King, Antoinette, Rita Gregg, and then Rob. And that's your closer bulldozer. What do you say?
Hi, I'm Eddie.
Hey, what's up, Eddie?
I only have one poem I'm going to read. It's all downtown this one. Sometimes I would read this new poem I wrote. And I went to flood building. They gave me an award and stuff. But anyways, this is a new poem. It's called The Pauper's Grave. I left my heart in San Francisco, but they tossed it in the bay. I had a home for many years, but the Ellis law took it away. And now that I'm in my golden years, oh God, what's the city's excuse? And let the elders beg with a prosthetic leg, that they prosecute elder abuse. We survived the Great Depression. We weren't all in Florida on vacation. We worked hard and we saved, and for charities we gave. Now in turn we got a pauper's grave. I left my heart in San Francisco. Come November, I always vote. So you probably see me on your high-tech TVs casting my vote on a Proposition G. 1,000 Hail Mary to Mayor, a homeless czar in the pocket of gamblers. If there's really a bone, let them give the elders a room if you want to be a good neighbor. But if elder abuse is your golden goose, and you know that's not how the natives here play, because out of the masses you can kiss our old ashes, and our kids will take your lunch money away. I have copies of that if anybody wants one and for free. They can have one. Oh, another thing is tomorrow the community art program has its only once a year they have a auction of all the community art programs. Low income and everybody's artwork. They supply all the materials all year, and it's a good thing because people could go there and be creative and constructive instead of destructive. But tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Folsom Street between 8th and 9th Street, they're having an auction there. I donated one of my paintings there. But that's not why I want to let you know. I think it's a good thing. But if anybody wants one of these poems, they can have one for free. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. All right. Hey, Stephen Cham, you here? I know he's here.
Did he go outside? There he is.
There he is. Where?
Right here.
Oh, there he goes. Okay, sorry. And then we got the Brooklyn Poet coming up after that. You others will take care of everything in due course.
This is a poem about this poem. This poem starts a way too prosy, pocket full of prosy. This poem is about a tribe. You know, they lived in the caves, and that's the life they knew. They had to live in the caves because outside there was nothing but high winds and dust, sand, and well, they didn't get out much. Well, then a wandering, marauding, you know, tribe came through and slaughtered them all. And there was nothing left but some marks on the wall. The tribe that took them out spent years, because the caves were comfortable, chilling and trying to figure out what these markings meant. And well, they became zombies because it was just way too much meditation and not enough thought. So they zombied around. They forgot how to maraud, and they were too prehistoric to mauve. So so seeking for further amusement, they came upon, wait a second, they're not marauding or mobbing. They came upon a dream time in their meditations and recognized that the meanings were that the meanings were ineffable. And the irony is as soon as they begun to understand them, they knew that that meant that they would never understand. And that was okay with them. But then came religion, because people started thinking more and decided, well, we have to contemplate what happens after people die. The tribe that had taken over the caves got credit for the markings, and meanwhile, far away in another part of town, there was the Huron River, where the Christians came up and taught the Indians to not be cavemen, and instead of shitting in the woods, they would shit in the river. So the tribe downstream came up and killed them, and that's why Christianity can be very bad for society. And this poem is about that mountain that's on the hill that has the ball rolling upward with no apparent reason. It defies gravity and seems to increase velocity without any sense of purpose, except for get up. And it's the picture of rising, and the poem wanted to talk about the story about the poem eating itself, because the snake ran out of hunger once it got up to the hip, and for those of us who can still wipe the sleep out of our eyes with our toes, it's a, you know, I am a host of the Step and Sham show at YouTube, and trying to overcome writer's block you might all be able to identify with. A writer's block that I have because I'm not carrying a pen lately. I found a pencil today, and it was profound for me. And I made some pictures of clouds. I look at life differently. I'm a photographer, so it's great. I can rationalize viewing a dress and loving the view of a dress, and me being okay with that, because people's images are not what they are, but they're nice anyhow. Sorry if this poem has been long. Please be having a good time with the tone. Beep.
He is online. All right. The Brooklyn poet shall come forth, hold forth, stand and deliver, as they used to say in the old time place where I can't even remember that was.
Exactly. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I am the Brooklyn poet. I've been here once before, and it's been a while.
Sorry for internet people hear you, I think, when you're too much.
Okay. So this is always a wonderful spot. It's great to be here again. So I'm gonna do a poem. I have a show on Saturday. I'm part of a showcase and something called Friday Night Out. I mean not Saturday, but it's called Friday Night Out. I'm part of a showcase. There'll be comedians, there'll be poets, there'll be singers. It's at Imagine Affairs Art Lounge, which is downtown Oakland. It's right between Franklin and Broadway, right by the BART station. It starts at 8 o'clock, and I think it's $10. So also I have books. I didn't know I was coming. I didn't bring any books with me, but I'm a published poet. So if you like what you hear, you can talk to me. The poem I'm gonna do. I was at a workshop, and the facilitator of the workshop gave us two prompts. I am dangerous because, and how to draw an invisible man. So I chose how to draw an invisible man, and hopefully you'll see what this poem is about. How to draw an invisible man. There's no paintbrush, drafting pen, or mechanical pencil needed because a 9mm mechanism draws perfect invisible men. Picassos of fallen manhood are passing through the air, floating through the smoldering haze of gunpowder as gun barrels blow silhouettes of invisible men like smoke rings from cigarettes. A Tech 9's artistic technique is flawless. 44 caliber brushstrokes are lawless. It's amazing the speed that spinning lead projectiles from AK-47s draw invisible men. There's no need for an easel or a drawing table, because the studio to create this masterpiece can be found in the landscape where men try to master a piece of sidewalk in Oakland or Detroit or St. Louis. The location doesn't matter because the blood splatters imagery is picturesque and grotesque at the same time. There's no need for a color wheel. A single hue will do, because most of the invisible men drawn are the ones with the most melanin, the darkest pigment in the human Crayola box, but the paint dries clear as air on those with kinky hair, so they remain invisible to justice, invisible to security. While homicide rates climb, ascending into the record books, men of African descent are depicted descending into the canvas of nothingness. Chalk outline representations of invisible men are drawn exquisitely. The pose of these see-through models vary like the design patterns of snowflakes, like the shape of a hooded young man clutching Skittles and Snapple, or the shape of a horrified huddled mass of sinew clutching a wallet, or face down center stage BART platform Fruitville station. A single shot rings in the air, ringing in the new year as a bullet passes through his back, ricochets off the cement, passing back through him, erasing a young man invisible, transforming flesh made in the image of the invisible God into a mirror reflection of the Most High. And while he laid in his hospital room, the blinking heart monitor was like a cursor, slowly deleting the happy ending in the story of his life, which has his daughter up late at night, sifting through invisible pages looking for answers. Dark matter composes most of the universe, but the dark matter that composes most of the inner cities is drawn invisible to society. The cells in my body are moving like constellations through my physical dark matter, but in reality, they're drawn in invisible realism. Because brown skin is drawn like a human burqa on brown men. Body not visible, eyes are the only thing visible, but just like Medusa, their dark gaze is avoided in elevators, on sidewalks after sundown. Fear you'll turn to stone, scared stiff, or transform into a pillar of salt like the unnamed wife of Lot from White Guilt. But yet your privilege of security and your salty disposition burns deep into my invisibility. Capitalism draws invisible men in the grand scheme of colonialism, classism, imperialism, and if it could paint my face like Al Jolson with Dorian Gray, reversing time back to when I was 3/5 of nothing, the invisible genre would be called romanticism. And every day, it's a no-win. Because communities that are rich in poverty and poor in education, sadly to say, every day, I see self-portraits drawn by invisible men.
Thank you. Are you from?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been in the West Coast for a long time, but I'm originally from Brooklyn.
All right, so let's yes, that's the name. Okay, great. All right. All right. The Reverend A. King, before Antoinette and Judita, the A. King.
That's right.
Okay, so
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that warm reception, and I've got some really kind, tasty words about war that will hopefully, let you know how I'm feeling tonight. Let's see.
Is this your first time here?
Yes.
Oh, give him a roar!
Too kind. Okay.
No, we always do that for a new person.
I appreciate it, brother. It's very kind. I like your Bush joke. That's good stuff.
It's tasty.
I could go on a little soliloquy or diatribe about how his grandfather was a financial advisor of the Third Reich, but I guess I'll just hold on. All right. Okay. Break out the rainbows and the shiny, happy stuff. Okay. War designs the altered lines of the state of our world. Spoils of battle curdled into the finest cheese that rats can bestow upon their friends and family trees, as those who suffer are brought down to their wounded knees, while society's professionals with their highest degrees are paid to show the masses how to understand that cattle from any foreign land deserve to be led to the slaughterhouse. 5-to-1 odds say that most folks today haven't the faintest clue as to how many people since the conclusion of World War II have been assisted by the United States in finding a permanent dwelling outside of their fragile human shell. The sanctioned hell of innocent civilians choking on fresh napalm and other tax-funded party favors in the morning while they watch their mother's dreams burn down right before their very eyes should come as no surprise as we look back upon the endless lies. Gulf of Tonkin, 9/11, weapons of mass destruction, Justin Bieber, that have raped our minds since the plutocracy of this nation really began to sink its teeth into the warm blood of our planet. You may be asking yourself, who am I to bring these facts to your attention while simultaneously failing to mention the atrocities of other powerful countries such as China and Russia murdering millions of their own citizens like fleas trapped in a home that has been carpet bombed into a haunted forest with no trees? Well, there. I just did focus on the hocus pocus of Stalin and Mao being able to make so many disappear through their bloody campaigns of weaponized fear. The pitter-patter of the secret police emptying entire neighborhoods at night while villages resort to cannibalism because they've lost the right to dine on the food that they've broken their backs to harvest in the first place. Let's face up to the fact that oil has become a god, with an insatiable appetite for the ocean of blood sacrifices that are offered to its majesty on a daily basis. I get a cold chill when I ask myself, how can there be freedom when our own soldiers have gotten so lost in the thrill of causing rivers of blood to spill in order to enforce the financial will of the owners of our country, who are never called upon to pay the bill for the horrors that their bloodlust has inundated upon the soul of infinity? What is the true definition of democracy? Is it a flaccid ghost that rich men make a toast to as they devour the rump roast carcass of all the ways that we are manipulated? There are so many things that make people scream out, "Not in my backyard." How about the fields of charred bodies created by preventable tragedies and blood money that's made from the proliferation of disease? When will we accept that the unrelinquished greed of the powerful few is not a valid excuse for the savage abuse that we heap onto ourselves and the rest of planet Earth? We require an epic rebirth of fresh ideals about how to extract the banana peels from our conscience so that we can be part of a solution that heals the wreckage of our past, that's filled to the brim with painful squeals of those millions who have suffered and died just so that our society can lay on a plush leather couch and whine about how it feels. My brothers and sisters, we are the Fourth Reich's brave new world, perpetually stuck on Groundhog Day, overdosing on the blue pill in the year 1984. What are you going to do about it?
Thank you. All right. Antoinette B., come on up. You're also new here, right?
I am new
Well,
here.
give her a round. Yeah.
Sure.
I was playing with Siri on the iPhone and I asked her to tell me a joke. So here's Siri's joke. Past, present, and future walked into a bar. It was tense. Tense. And that was from Siri. I like that. The piece I'm sharing is titled Violation, and I also have small books for sale, $5 each. I have 2 of them. And, again, the piece is titled Violation. He had that look of intoxication, that smell on his breath created by carnal sensations, that look where the eyes become hungry and at the same time blind. He was intoxicated by flesh and absent in mind. He was consumed by a bestial craving, demon-possessed and in need of saving. If his senses hadn't escaped him, he would have sensed that his spirit had died. He would have known that she had limited powers inside and could not heal him. He would have known that only God had the cure for that lost, that empty, that pit, that missing part of him. She could not love him through his childhood woes, could not save him from all that he had come to know, could not speak to his wounds with the quiver in her voice, could not see him. But she'd been given no choice. He was searching, searching, searching desperately for his way home in this world, searching for his manhood that his mother could not teach him, searching between her thighs, hoping, hoping, hoping to find that part of him that was buried so deep, hoping to find it in her, digging, digging, digging deeper than sin, digging deeper than in, just digging through, right through her existence, through her past, present, and future, digging into her bones and shattering her mind, digging so deep, he woke her nightmares and silenced her dreams, digging, digging, digging through her spirit as it bled from her thighs, attempting to kiss away her cries, hoping that she'd believe the lies that she wanted him like this, searching, searching, searching frantically into the night for a manhood that he never quite understood, overpowering, devouring, caressing while deflowering, digging her grave while planting his seed, fulfilling his wants while neglecting his need to protect her. But he was still searching, searching, searching for his manhood, for a place to bury the pain, a way to stop the internal thundering rain, his screams mixed with hers, a melody of hurt, of giving up hope,
a symphony of blood, sweat, tears, an orchestra of wounds, a legacy of pain as he was digging, hoping, searching for his way home. And she was just praying, praying, praying for time to reverse, for mankind to be cursed, to have never been birthed, to simply stop the hurt, while her soul was slowly being emptied from him digging, 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 and then throwing her fragile pieces away. Woo!
Wow. So, now we've raised the roof. Rita? Oh, hi. Okay. You knew you were coming up. Good.
Wow.
Is that, you want me to lower that or raise it?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Can you, yeah. Okay. So, since she started off with we came together, she was so much like my sister. We, so I brought a little ditty of a joke. They say the astrological is scatological, but God don't make no doo-doo. Right? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Spells double talk. Covenant, governments, paradise, pair of dice, prophets, prophets, worship, warships, pray, pray, peace, peace, sun, sun, perish, perish, good God. If God is good, then why does a son of the sun worship with worships to prey on those who pray for peace yet steal their peace, to profit by a prophet with covenants, with governments that create an elite paradise with a pair of dice? Are we to perish in their parish? Is good sacrificed for the concept of God? Woo. So what? Oh. So I tend to always look at this element. You know, we always understand looking up and saying the Most High, but what do we really mean when we say it? Wade in the waters, wade in the waters, children, wade in the waters. God's going to trouble the waters. My people turned away from worshiping their source of miracle and magic done. My people turned away from worshiping earth, water, wind, stars, and sun, so they could worship someone hung on a cross. Now, so many are lost, deceived, and made to believe guilt from another culture, a vulture polluting our well-beings with sights of non-realistic dreams. Now, too many cry because too many die by sacrificial death, worshiping lies, tried to turn us from the sun, and memories of water, fire, light, wisdom, drums, sacred hums, trees holding seeds with enchantments and glories, telling stories, evoking magic, sacred names, bringing thunder, lightning, and rain. Lord of my law, my gods, my people turn from senses, engraved by life's light, where body is first scripture and earth by heaven held the scripts to the laws of life, from water spirits, smells and spells with atmospheric wells of genetic keys, from wind's oracle messages through soft breezes, from mother tongue sacred words connecting third eyes, from bird seasonal flight messages in skies, and the naming of our children for the presence in their lives, from earth where gardens had worth and birth was not an ongoing pain, where raising the young was not a fearful game, where life wasn't frequently visited by the insane and maimed for and them by a chemically synthesized drug-infested disease, murderous rain. Yes, my people are troubled. Yet they secretly know the poisonous snake they fight each day as ancestral spirits whisper miracles and magic done with earth, water, wind, stars, and sun. Where darkened skin sung firelight wisdom as dark simmering holes, souls, housing souls in spiraled rows of rainbow lights, seers of scripted sights. Yes, my people are troubled by what might have been, could have been, before we allowed them to turn us away from worshiping earth, water, winds, stars, and sun, so we could worship someone hung on a cross. But this too shall pass. I know,
I'm glad you gave us that. That's amazing. Karita, thank you. All right, now our mini feature for the evening. He's going to read for about 8 minutes or so, and then we have Rob Gesh, the Century Closing Bulldozer. So give Mr. Greg Pond an honorable welcome, please.
I kind of wish I had gone earlier. Some tough acts to follow. Amazing. Work. All right. I'm going to share a few here. This one is by Langston Hughes, and it's entitled Comment on War. Let us kill off youth for the sake of truth. We who are old know what truth is. Truth is a bundle of vicious lies, tied together and sterilized. A war maker's bait for unwise youth, to kill off each other for the sake of truth. One of mine is entitled War at Home. The people at home don't care anymore. The people at home forgot there's a war, where some people fight, where hate blocks the light, where broken children bleed and greed's the only goal. The people at home pretend they don't know what the people at war have been fighting for. And those who hide behind the door are the privileged ones, not the poor. While greed trumps the need to protect our collective souls from the horrors of war abroad and the horrors of war at home. Invisible line. Go down, Moses, way down to freedom's land. Tell old Massa, let my people go. With freedom leading, a train moves across the night, past day undercover and evening survey, until the Creator's first rays defy the absence of light, briefly exposing an invisible line heading up north, a railroad weaving through patchwork directions, with wits and spirit guiding them somewhere along a path, wound in section plats, following a corner road map, discreetly braided in a little sister's hair. Bastet. It's a poem about a cat, and I'm not a cat person, but I find myself writing a lot of poems about cats. I don't know why. All right, Bastet. A cat of charcoal black sat, poised and relaxed, on a crescent curve, round the edge of midnight, statuesquely idle and unperturbed, long tail dangling in a saxophone curl, attached to the outer rim of the world. A cat of navy blue black sat like a silhouette with its back against the ether of outer space, poised like an Egyptian Bastet, regal priestess, ebony face, daughter of the sun, feline protector of the race. A cat of midnight black sat, claws retract and relaxed, on a saxophone curl, under the shadow of a crescent moon, on the dark side of the world. An invisible stare. I'm sorry, an innocent stare. An innocent stare. An innocent stare lasting a little longer than safe. Didn't escape unnoticed and was taken as a dare. The victim, very vulnerable and obviously gay, surrounded by 6 eyes suddenly up in his face. Thug rugged with feral hormones sensing prey, liquored up and blunted, macho arrogance on display. An innocent eye, a stare too long, challenged an unspoken creed he never understood, nor took the time to believe, soon reduced to crawl on the raw of his knees. Cornered in the alley where the deepest walls meet, victimized, terrorized, and blamed, the tragedy of an innocent stare that too long in the wrong place remained. Having done the deed with no time for remorse, they exchanged guilt for rage, traded compassion for brute force. Not enough just to defile, they went over the edge, going totally buck wild, beating him down to within an eyelash of his life. An hour later, he lay, barely breathing, battered, broken, bloody, and maimed. As they went laughing on their merry way, innocently hiding 6 hands stained and painted the shade of a night without shame. Two quick ones. Seasons change. Moving through seasons that change without a dry leaf or snowflake flutter to mark the calendar days. Counting every summer rise and fall from orange blue to purple gray. Marching through spring past April's fool and traveling through May to the last day of school. How far we've come along the way and how much of our journey still remains can only be measured by things that most matter, the people we treasure, the leaves we scatter as seasons change. One more. Billy Blue. While sweeping bits of busted glass, I felt myself transported back to when Billy's pain was still intact, forever hearing the song she sang, blackening the blues before the crash, before the hurling angry hand crumbled a singer's song to ash. Weeping drops on a shattered past, a vase, a million crystals smashed, save a shard curiously jammed under the lady's glass-filled hand. Billy, with her sad face slashed, jagged tears on the edge of jazz, leaning at the open mic stand, holding a broken poem in one hand.
Great poem. All right, and now our clincher closer, Rob Gesh, will come up, and then we'll take care of these fantastic prizes, which were designed, of course, with your mind in mind. Please come back. All right.
All right. Okay, once, twice. Here in the future, operation between Bonobo and anything else that became our stop. Here's thanks. It's time for dessert. I thought you were hungry. That's why I brought these steel platters to put everything on. Start again. If everything is reconsidered, nothing is accomplished. If nothing is considered, that's enough. If nothing is considered, it's... How many times must I have lunch? Okay, 3 times. Not okay. Not okay, only once. When in the final explanation of all of our moment to when in the final explanation all of our efforts became valuable. That was yesterday as well as the day before. But tomorrow it will all be the same. Thank goodness. I agree with your work. I hope it's not what you expected. I hope it's not what you expected. I hope it's not anything, especially if you're hungry. Think of your childhood furniture in the same way, as in the same way, as in the same way. I had a revolving door in my living room. You are welcome to revolve. And now, if you look at things under the microscope, it's similar. It doesn't become optional for all the right reasons. Yeah. It surrounds them, canister where the wool had been stored. There was a lot of static electricity. And there was a line of warmth. You little calorie cooker, you. I like that. Input, food, output. Well, here you go. Please say that again. There are many cubbies, closets, square feet, opportunities, Grand Canyons to be found in the gesture of swinging your arm wide open, and there you go. Whenever you're required to go faster, somebody is impatient. When you're required to go faster, somebody's watching the clock. When I am required, when we are asked to speed up, hurry up. There's no delay. We have to get there on time because we have all missed everything that we had set out to do. Nothing on our list will have been accomplished by me. Let me see that list. It's a checklist here. Here's the checklist. Please check all of the items on the list. When you complete each of those tasks, what are those tasks? Glad I asked. I accept that. No, scratch that. I want to go at my own rate. You need, play baseball, chess, turtle. Welcome back, turtle. Tortoise, snail, 3 times snail. It was as if you were concentrating so hard that everything slowed down. Hummingbird. Now it becomes the fountain that was the edge of the desert, full of fresh vegetables, and your popular mechanics, delivery truck, all or else none, all around the campfire, all the darts. Yeah, thank you for the momentary eclipse. It appears true that my ancestors needed repeated discovery. Begin again. Thank you. Hang on. Begin again. Keep your eye on the ball. Don't tell me what to do. Thank you for the suggestion. I tried to walk through the airport scanner. It was only 6 inches wide. Nobody was able to get through. Security was very tight. Thus, the only folks on the plane were children. Their parents stayed back at the airport. 2 weeks later, when the children returned, end of story. How about that? How many accurate pitches were thrown in 2018? Speed, the fastball is beneficial because it doesn't give the batter a chance to think about it. Speed. Forget about curveballs, forget about knuckleballs for the time being, and think about fastballs. There, we're done thinking. Distractions are at the heart of the high-speed pitch. Think about that while you should be thinking about this. Hallelujah, it's pasture. This and that, in this and that, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Here, there's the door. Stay with me. I'll go with you out the door. Together we can feel the breeze on our... What's my time? I'll stop there. Thanks.
Thank you, Rob Gash. All right, we've come to the conclusionary portion of the evening where someone, this kind individual, will shuffle these cards. And these are the door prizes of the evening.
Cheat sheets.
Huh?
Cheat sheets.
Thank you. Mark Twain tonight, if you've ever read this, it's a great sampling of his work. This is the Henry Wadsworth Longfellow complete edition, of which I have two, so I'm giving one away. The Inferno is hot. Matthew Rogers, a poet who has come here fairly often, and it's a very good little collection. Sally Love Saunders, word pictures, Two Trees by Sherry Rose Walker, and if you know the song Amazing Grace, this is
I don't want that one.
I didn't know it had a whole one. So this is a VCR, and if it tells the story as I know the story, it's very, very interesting. And the little notes are on the inside, so I'll put them back in there.
There are 4 VCRs in San Francisco County that still work.
Probably. But anyway, so give me a drum roll, please. Eddie, you are a winner. Oh, the other 2 prizes being the keynote opener next week and the mini feature. Greg was the mini feature tonight, and Stephanie was the opener, but she's not around. Anything you like, Eddie? He goes for that. And I'm always wrong about what people think. I used to be better than I am now, but that's not bad. Drum roll. Zane, you are a winner. Come forth and choose your choice. Or pick your choose. Oh, okay. Cherry Rose Walker. And Greg, this is you. Because it has a mini on the back. I don't have one. There's no number by the
Like you have 42 people on the mic?
Well, sometimes. Sometimes it gets crowded. And that was, he gave that to Stephanie, but okay. The Inferno, Longfellow, the back part coming on. That's a surprise. Take the back side and then put the group. All right, and Bill, you're still here. One of these fine prizes is yours. Let me give you a hint.
I either go for keynote or light reading. Oh, Inferno.
Inferno, light reading.
Light summer reading here.
All right. Clara Sue just decamped, as they say. Stephen Cham, is he still? There, he's out there. Well, that's not him. That's the other guy. Okay. Rob. Oh, is that him? He was who? Oh, he doesn't. Okay, he doesn't know. All right. Tanya Joyce. One of these fine, fabulous prizes. They're just for you.
Wonderful.
Oh, you won a prize. I thought you left.
That's okay.
She's a source of some of the prizes.
She did cheat. She shuffled us and everything. Yeah, he was right. Yeah, she cheated.
You pick first.
Yeah.
And then we'll go on. Okay. Well, I have a VCR that works.
Oh, there you go. So she'll know that she'll get provide us the report in due course.
Right.
Garrett. So you can pick either one of these. But you might want to do the mini because you can later. But then there's the other things that you insures. That's sorry,
There's the short fellow.
The Brooklyn Poet.
Whoa! There you go. All right, awesome.
All right. So you have this or those. I don't know if you're able to come back.
Yeah.
You can come back. You can pick either one.
I'll pick the mini.
I'll pick the mini.
All right, that's next week, so I gotta put you over here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have 2 meetings next week, so you're gonna be in Brooklyn. Oh, yeah. There you go.
You know how much time do I get for the mini?
It's 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
It's the mini figure, so it's
Okay.
good. All right,
Awesome.
All right, and then, Wendy.
Oh, I already have my one.
You can do-
Oh, no, I don't have that. You know, I did the keynote like a few weeks ago, didn't I?
Well, you can do it again.
I
There's
don't
there's no
mind
law.
passing on to the next person who will win.
know what? Okay.
I don't mind doing the keynote.
Okay, so, okay.